is the Magnate.
Hello, you're welcome to this week's edition of The Magnate. Today we are going to be zeroing on a revered profession. Yes, it's one of the privileged professions in Nigeria that parents are always proud when their children says, I want to study this or that. Yes, today we are going to be talking law. What about law? We have a magnate who is equal to the task, who more or less a scion of a global figure, a name that you will hear, you will shiver when you talk of the justice system in Nigeria and even globally. Who are we talking about? Let us give you his citation. When we come back, it shall be an interactive session with our magnate for the week. We'll be back shortly.
Barrister Adeshagun Mohammed Maruf Ajibola, a family man with children, a legal practitioner of 30 years post-call, principal partner Bola Ajibola and Co., and a solicitor since 1995, with a bias for commercial law, litigation, arbitration, and electoral disputes. He has been a fellow of Chartered Institute of Arbitrators since 2013 and an award winner of his year of fellowship. He became a senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN, in the year 2011. Barrister Adeshagun Ajibola has been involved in several notable arbitration matters locally and internationally. He attended several relevant arbitration conferences, seminars, and also given lectures at the training of fellows at the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators. He serves on the board of several private equity companies, has served as a member of public institution, member governing board Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, Abeokuta, Ogun State, member Olabisi Onabanjo University, and he is presently a member of the board of trustees, Crescent University, Abeokuta, Ogun State. He is also a member of Institute of Directors and several social and sports clubs.
Welcome back. This is the Magnate. You've seen the citation of our Magnate for the week, and I'm sure you are getting ready for the program to unfold. It's a great pleasure to welcome to the program Barrister Maruf Adeshagun Ajibola. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
Now, the law profession. What must we know about the law profession? For the benefit of those that are thinking to embrace it, those in it, for the generality of the public.
For you to belong to that profession, in order that you can carry out the responsibilities that come with the application of the law to human life and endeavor in all strata of our existence. So it is connected to everything that we do, and it is inexcusable, inevitable requirement of our life in the democratic setting that the law profession be in place to provide the services that are required to ensure that, as they say, justice is not only done, it's seen to be done.
Served.
Yes.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Okay, so now, somebody will be confused now that, what should anybody do? Is it just out of interest or anything for somebody to be a lawyer? For instance, somebody in a high school, what combination of subjects and all of that must you do? Or should it just be out of passion, out of interest, or out of influence like you to be a lawyer?
Well, I think it's a combination of various factors. At the end of the day, it will depend on one individual to the other. I don't think it's a one glove fits all prescription in terms of saying that you must be in a particular place or do a particular thing to develop an interest about a thing. Interest that human beings develop about anything in life is usually inborn or influenced, as you have said earlier, by their environment or what they see their parents do or what has caught their attention and inspires them or giving them inspiration, if you like, to go in a particular direction. The law profession is not different from all that. I guess it may even apply to all forms of professions in the entire world. So you cannot isolate the legal profession and say, give it a special place, which I think it deserves anyway. I see that with all bias. But in all seriousness and frankness, if you want to attain a level of achievement in any stated objective of life, you have to develop the interest personally and then develop it within an environment that will encourage you to actualize that dream, you know, and that's what I think is required.
And academic prowess too, because you must have that academic.
Oh yes, that is
given.
an inevitable requirement. The academic requirements for the legal profession, like my father used to say, he would say, "You don't study law, you read law." A lot of people are always most people are in the error. Some lawyers too. Of when they ask them what did you study, they say they studied law. My father rejects that expression. He used to say, of blessed memory, he used to say, you can only read law, you can't study it. But I guess in reading it, studying it comes into context. So the requirements for your entry into the legal profession is set by the educational board. The JAMB requirements for the admission of a student into a law faculty university, they're all set out. The requirements of the Council of Legal Education for the Nigerian Law School. So all those rules and regulations you would meet from point to point before you become a full-fledged member.
Yeah. Okay. My observation is that the legal profession is more or less relevant and intertwined with all other professions, all facets of life. You understand? Even as a business owner, you need some form of legal advice and all that. How has it become a privilege? In our media parlance, we call it status conferrer or social capital, for instance.
Well, you see that you've knocked the nail on the head by saying that it is a profession that is relevant to all facets of life. In your profession, which is journalism and media, you have the media law.
Yeah.
In sports, we now have sports law. In aviation, we have aviation law. We now have medical law. But whether you call them by those, I mean, you refer to them in that descriptions, law is relevant to all those areas of human endeavor, regardless of what description you give to it, because everything must work within a legal framework for an orderly society, because of the need to maintain the rule of law and to guide and moderate the relationship between human beings within a society. We have criminal law. You know, there are crimes in every society of all forms, where penalties and imprisonments are prescribed for certain offenses, which require that they be dealt with in that manner. So the need to familiarize yourself with the law of the land as much as possible so that you don't run foul of it is important, because as we say in the administration of justice, ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Exception.
Exactly. So law remains an inevitable reference point of our human life and endeavor.
Interesting. We're still chatting with Barrister Maruf Adeshegun Ajibola, the proprietor of Crescent University, Abeokuta. We're talking about Crescent University, Abeokuta. Convocation just happened, so let's share some of the highlights with you, where you will also be seeing him making the proprietor's speech. Back shortly.
It has become a tradition for Crescent University, Abeokuta, to host guests for the annual convocation ceremony for graduate and postgraduate students. The 16th edition of Crescent University Convocation Ceremonies came up on Saturday, 19th of October, 2024. The ceremony that spans several days usually have a convocation lecture as one of the main activities of the convocation ceremonies, meant to prepare the graduating students post-graduation. With the arrival of graduates, parents, and guests, the stage was set for the commencement of the program. After the students and academic processions have gained entry, the event started proper with the duo of Idris Khalib and Ismail Yunus coordinating as masters of ceremony.
I declared this assembly a convocation of the Crescent University Abeokuta for the purpose of the conferment of degrees, diplomas, certificates, and award of prizes.
It is yet another October, which in the tradition of this institution, the yearly convocation ceremony holds. It's a thing of joy that we continue to provide an environment conducive for uninterrupted learning, such that academic programs are completed as at when due.
The atmosphere of accomplishment, of hope and joy, which permeates this congregation, serves as a reprieve from the struggles of everyday life, and I congratulate the graduates as well as parents and sponsors on the momentous occasion witnessing the completion of an important phase and marking entry into another.
The ceremony is very important and significant as it marks the formal completion of various degree programs of our graduates across the board. This ceremony will graduate students from different undergraduate and postgraduate degree programs and award of honorary doctorate degrees to eminent Nigerians who have made their marks in different fields of human endeavor.
The high point of the ceremony was the conferment of degrees to the graduates at graduate and postgraduate level, as the number of first class kept soaring.
My profound gratitude goes to the Almighty God, my family, and the proprietor and chairman of the Board of Trustees, Crescent University, Prince Adeshegun Maruf Ajibola, a senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN, who has been my sponsor for over a decade and still counting.
The admission into the alumni body was coordinated by the Vice Chancellor. Crescent University Abeokuta is indeed the ultimate in academic excellence, in line with the anthem. We wish the management and students more successes in their endeavors. Amen.
Welcome back. Colorful ceremony. Convocation ceremony year in, year out. One of the great citadel of learning in Nigeria. And we are talking about the law profession today. They also are outstanding. I mean, Crescent University with their legal faculty. And of course, what do you expect with the founder of this school? You will expect that that faculty should be top-notch. And we have one of the offsprings here talking to us in the person, and in fact, the proprietor, now the proprietor of Crescent University, Barrister Maruf Adeshegun Ajibola. You're welcome back to the program.
Thank you very much.
Now, I've had the privilege of attending your convocation ceremonies for some time now, and the colorful nature, the way it is being conducted, I won't say if that is the influence of the founder, which you have not won the cap, a big one at that.
Thank you.
What do you have to say briefly about your convocation ceremony, the quality of graduates?
Well, the convocation itself is primarily or majorly, let me put it that way, about the students themselves. Much more for them than for us as management of the university. And the event is about their own celebration and the success story of their time here, and by extension their parents and guardian who has sacrificed a lot to keep them here and give them the training and the education that they are here to achieve, yes, and acquire. And it is also a day for us to put forward our best image in terms of how far we've gone, all the years we've spent, the progress we have made, the developments we have put in place, and our plans and programs. And because it allows us to speak to the world, basically, and say, this is what we are doing. Those students are our ambassadors now. They've now transited from students to alumni. And they will continue to carry the flag of the university everywhere
Brand
they
ambassadors.
go. Because anytime they fill a form, what university do you attend, they will mention Crescent and all that, and all that goes with it is quite a lot for us. So it requires, a lot goes into it in terms of time, effort, organization, and financial provision and expenditure to ensure that it's a day that it's worthy of its celebration. So we do all that from year to year. This will be our 16th convocation now. So I think we've gotten used to the to the routine. It has become routine for us. We know it's expected of us, even though there's always room for improvement. And we try, once we see an error in any given year, we try and cover that and make it better.
Okay, talking about your the late founder,
Yes.
you are, like I started at the beginning,
Yes.
I was bringing this scion as it were because of
Yes.
the kind of caliber.
Yes.
I mean, a judge of the global courts as it were.
Yes.
Would you say he influenced the choice of profession?
In a lot of ways. Some of the inspiration came personally, in terms of my seeing him and his activities in the legal profession with the Nigerian Bar Association. At times, when he finds time to find me somewhere he can get hold of me, he would take me to court with him and tell me, this is that person, that is this person. That, and I began to know about a number of lawyers even before I left the university. Oh yes. And I think he did that deliberately because, of course, he felt it would be his pride to see me as his son come into the profession like he has done. And he believed in it very seriously. He couldn't dream of anything else he would have done in his life other than the legal profession. He was married to it. In fact, he told me, he said, when you are in that profession, with due respect to our wives and the female gender, is that the legal profession becomes your wife, you know, practically, and that you must embrace her and live with her in harmony and peacefully, and hopefully it will determine your success in life if you are in that profession. I was just on my way out of university when he was Attorney General before then. So by the time he was going to the World Court and he was transiting from a 6-year period as Attorney General of the Federation of this country, I had already started to find my feet in the legal profession. He was larger than life for small people like myself. I find it, I don't even bother to think of fitting into his shoes because I don't think there's a competition here in the first place. And then again, I think everybody has come to life to run their own race. Yes.
Okay, now, this legal profession, is it really very difficult? Because I observe that sometimes students will excel in the first degree level, but when they go to law school, which you're going to talk about, I mean the relevance of law school to the practice itself, they really don't make it as much as they do in the university.
The way I see it is not as complex as you probably
I'm painting it.
You seem to be making it.
Okay.
Because vice versa too. You have people who didn't do well in university and excel when they get to the law school. But going beyond that, you have people who didn't do too well in university, who didn't do so well in the law school, and in practice, they've excelled positively and creditably and admirably and remarkably too. I know a good number of them. So I guess at times it has to do with the person. Your presence of mind, your dedication, your focus, and finding enough time to be in good focus of the challenges that come with education at different stages. Some take time to mature. You know, well, like I said earlier, we're all different people endowed in different ways. Some generally feel, oh, because I've not done so well in university, this is an opportunity for me to do better. So I think it depends on one individual to the other and the circumstance in which the event happened. Yes, those who don't do well in first layer of exams to qualify as a lawyer have an opportunity to do it again and then pass out. You know, and eventually most of them do qualify eventually.
Crescent University, how do you think the legal department, faculty, has influenced positively on your students, particularly when you checkmate with those who have passed out?
Yes. Professor Kazim Mamadou is the Dean of the Faculty of Law in our university here. We call it Bako Law, Bola Ajibola College of Law. And he has been in that position for quite some time now, admirably. And he's really done us proud. And one thing he has been doing recently that I found very positive and is worthy of emulation and commendation is that it takes his time out of the college to travel around to where our alumni are and visit them.
Evaluation.
Both those in the law school who have become alumni, even though they are in the law school, and everywhere else you can find them. It takes an interest in their development. It takes an interest on, it's like a follow-up process for him to visit our students, give them guidance.
Still mentoring and tutoring.
Yes. So I asked him recently, why do you still feel the need to do this after teaching them, giving them education and all that in university? Why are you still going around chasing them? We didn't have anybody doing that for us in our time. He said things have changed. He said, I will find out that the alumni build the institution. Once they see that there's a connection between themselves and their alma mater, they would always come back to add some value.
Still talking about institution, I mean, it's not something that is hidden. For some years now, we find that people of my gender, the female, have been topping in the performance. Maybe the narrative changed once or twice, but how do you want to relate that to gender disparity when it comes to, is it distraction, concentration on academics, using Crescent as example?
Well, I too have noticed that trend. In some ways, it's worrisome, because you wonder what the male gender is doing if they are not receiving education at this formative period of their lives. And I dread to imagine that anything else that I can imagine, and I don't want to make any references here, but your guess is as good as mine. I mean, what can be the distraction to young men these days that education means little to them? But in a way, there's some positive aspect of it. And I think a number of people who
get child education,
who they mentor, well, a lot of parents now know that it is an important requirement to ensure that the female get all the education they can get. But our male brothers who are distracted positively or negatively, I say positively in some sense. Look at the richest men in the whole world and tell me how many of them that you can refer to went to any higher institution or any university.
Correct.
Just tell me. Start with America. Yeah. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs. They were all described as school dropouts.
Yes.
But the success that they have attained, even in this country too, the success that they are the employers of labor, they run successful businesses. So really, education is not necessarily the four corners of an institution.
Now, as senior advocates of Nigeria,
yes,
you just briefly tell us about the justice system in the country, which I know that you even sit atop the chamber there in Lagos.
Yes, it's a very touchy topic that you have made reference to, because the journey of it so far, I mean, let me just say, even in the last 2 decades, has been topsy-turvy. You know, it's like been a Humpty Dumpty ride, you know, for the legal profession, which includes the judiciary and the bar, and includes our criminal justice system and our court system and all that. But it is a reflection of the society at large. So taking the legal profession in isolation of the society is an unfair method of assessment or evaluation. It must be taken in the context. And when you say how well have they fared, you know, all those things.
So it affects.
They have an impact on every aspect of our lives. And the justice system is not an exception, because we live in the same society and we're impacted by all that everybody else is impacted to, even though the standard required of the legal profession is higher because of the nature of the responsibilities that it has to shoulder. And I understand that clearly, you know, and that we must rise above board, you know, we must be the inspiration for all others to follow.
We cannot round up without a revered counsel for somebody like you.
For anyone who desires to read law, they should not be put off or be daunted by the challenges and the shortcomings of the profession, whatever they may be. Because the profession must remain for eternity, and it must remain in place to ensure that it continues to provide the services and the support that society demands of them. People have a limited time to be alive in any, in the world, generally speaking now. And therefore, there is a turnaround of humanity. One generation goes, another one follows. And that must continue to happen for everything we do in life, including the legal profession. So I would encourage our younger ones who see us in front of the arrangement of the rank and file.
Foreigners.
Yes, of the rank and file, to be prepared to do better than we do. It's not enough for them to sit behind us and be pointing finger at
and be criticizing,
saying that this one is poor and being judgmental. Okay, after your judgment, come forward and come and prove your mettle. Come and do better than we are doing. That will be our pride. That is the prayer of the African man, that his children will be better than himself.
A true succession
in the
arrangement.
Succession of human life and endeavors. Thank you.
Prince Barrister Maruf Adeshegun Ajibola, thank you very much. SAN, yes, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Thank you very much. Thank you. Finally, we had this. That has been our program today. Our revered legal luminary spoke to us on the profession. Make it a date at the same time next week. Remember to follow us on our various social media handle. Remember, this program is also up for sponsorship or any way you want to support the cause so that we can continue to dish out this rich knowledge sharing week in, week out. At the same time next week, we shall bring you another Magnate. Stay with us. Bye for now.